Hey guys and gals of YouTube land, I'm going to replace the shock on this vehicle today. Sorry about the engine in the background there. I've already had to do one on this truck. It's kind of an emergency repair, so I didn't get to film that one. So I'm going to do the passenger side, just kind of show you the process I went through yesterday. Really not a big deal to do one on this. I'll kind of set up and show you as I do it step by step what I have to do. This is what it looked like when I took it apart yesterday. Not supposed to do that. That's the reason why it was leaking. So that wheel was bouncing around like a basketball. Yeah, they're not supposed to look like this. The other side looks pretty good. This is the one I'm going to be replacing. As you can tell, it looks pretty decent. And, 113,000 miles on it. Probably needs to be replaced. It's not giving any trouble like the other one. There's no leakage on it at all. But you're supposed to replace these in pairs to keep everything, in the front end, I guess, moving in the right direction as far as wear. So this is the one I'll be tackling next, as you can tell. So I'll pick it up from the next part. You can tell I'm jacking it up with a lower control arm. That way it doesn't leave a lot of slack in the suspension. Always kind of leave both under there, jack stand and jack. This is extra support. Never just trust hydraulic jack by itself. Always have a secondary way of, on a sturdy surface, keeping your vehicle safely in the air. Yeah, next on the list that you have to do to get this wheel off, I'm using a 22 millimeter socket. These are just the lug nuts that hold the hubcap on. They don't actually hold the wheel. So you have to take all these off and then go to the lug nuts next. So that's what I'll do, and I'll come back after I get these off, maybe kind of show one or two of these being taken off. So next we're going to use our impact socket to take it off. This is the same size as what I used to take off the hubcap with. Looks like it fits the lug nut pretty good. So I'm going to use that along with my Craftsman impact and get these off, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. All right, you can kind of clearly see here how the shock is mounted. You got two studs on top, right there, and you got the one bolt, the bottom shock bolt through the bottom with a nut on the back. Get it to focus in there, see it? Pretty easy to get to. Of course, I'm gonna have to lay on the ground, get to that one. I can do that by just simply doing this, get to these. Don't really have a wrench that size. I think it's somewhere in the 20 to 21 millimeter range. Don't have a deep well socket. So I know it's kind of unconventional, but I'll probably use a crescent wrench. I've got a very large crescent wrench that I can use to torque those off. And of course I can use the Craftsman socket on this one, or the Craftsman impact on this one, I should say. So I'll kind of maybe show that process to you next. Here's the next tool I'll be using. It's a 15-inch Crescent brand. Thus the reason why they call these crescent wrenches. I guess they were the first people to make them. Made in the USA. Don't see that very often anymore. Of course, this thing's probably 50 years old. But it's been a good one. Made in Jamestown, New York, when you could actually afford to make stuff in the Northeast. But it's good quality. Just never let me down. Like I said, wished I knew how old it was. But this will be my next tool. I'm going to use it up here. I've already got it kind of pre-adjusted from yesterday. So I'll show you the process after I get these, or I'll show you what it looks like after I get these off. And then we'll move to the bottom one. Maybe I can actually film that one. So I broke it loose with a bigger one. Now I can just take the smaller one, get in there and kind of get it where you can see it. Just turn it with that. Of course, if you're like me and you don't have the proper tools, this is the way you do it. But there's a lot of people that have the proper tools. It would probably take half as long to do this. And you see I got both of them broke loose. So I'll come back after I get these off when we're working on this one down here. As you can see, I've got the two nuts off the studs on the top of the shock. They are studded on the original shock. And this is the original. The bottom one takes a 21mm socket. So I'm gonna use a crescent on that side. It's really hard to get a wrench in there. Well, it's not hard to get a wrench, just I'm lazy, and that's the easiest way for me to do that right now. I'm gonna take the impact to that one and take it off, and then I'll show you what that looks like after I have it off. And there's the shock off on the floor. That's where it once stood. So I'll get the new one out and kind of show you what that looks like. Reinstallation process on that one. This is the shock I chose to go back on. Like I said, I've already put the one on the other side. It seemed to do great, considering it's attached internally like it's supposed to be. This is the part number that I used. There's 2 or 3 different types of Monroe shocks you could use, but this was on a heavy-duty application on Rock Auto or Daily Driver. Didn't want to go economy. I'm going to be using this truck a lot to haul stuff. And, you know, want it to last at least another 100,000, if at all possible. I always had real good luck with Monroe shocks, so I'll get it out and show you what I've got here as far as reinstallation. This is what it comes with out of the box. Brand new shock, of course. And the 2 bolts for the top shock mount and 2 nuts. That's the only thing that's different than the OE shock. Like I said, it's studded. Makes it a lot easier. All you have to do is just tighten the nuts down. But now I'm going to have to actually hold this from the bottom side when I put that up there and have a wrench on it and on the top. Makes it take a little bit longer. But a lot of this aftermarket shocks that you get or whatever are kind of built like this anyway. They're not built like the OE. So it's fine, you know, we'll work through it. Didn't take me that much longer to put it back on yesterday, knowing that this was in the cards. Here's the finished product. Got the nuts tightened on the top. There's the bolt heads on the bottom. Got the bolt on the bottom tightened up. Shock bolt. I'd use my old trusty crescent wrench there. Sorry about the glare there. Just kind of got the light shining in it. That's what it looks like installed. Of course, you repeat the process of putting the wheel back on the same way you took it off. And won't bore you with all those details. Just kind of shows you what you're looking at when you have to go put one on these. It's a little bit different on every truck. This is a 3500 HD. Really a plain Jane truck. I know some of the Sierras have sort of like a strut on it. what they call it. Of course, there's other videos on that, but this is how you'd put one on a 3500 HD heavy duty application. This is what it looks like all the way back together. Everything back on, ready to hit the road. Get everything back going in the right direction. Anyhow, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And, I've got other videos on here showing how to do certain things to certain vehicles. Try to make them a little bit better every time. Learning in this process what you guys like, what you guys don't. And I can tell by the views. So definitely, if you like it, subscribe, hit the like button, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.